All right, here we go.
You ever get the feeling that everything in America is completely fucked up? You know that feeling that the whole country is like 1 inch away from saying, that's it, forget it. Let's see,
Now look, here's a house full of bees. You think the honey badger cares? It doesn't give a shit.
Listen, let's get one thing straight.
Price is right.
Guns don't kill people. I do.
There's a swing on the old Liberty tree. Granddad carved names, said, boy, you're free. Now there's lines in the sky where the clouds used to be, and a warning in the wind when it whistles through the leaves. Uncle Ted fries like a biscuit in the pan.
Never had a better friend than President Donald J. Trump.
Living off the grid, powder on his hands. Says they pat me on the head, say it's all good here. While they slip another script, I just crack another beer. Hey, so I'll drink my beer.
I think so.
I believe I've asked you this, but did you write the Uncle Ted line in that song?
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, some loyal listener did.
That was well done, whoever did that.
So, dude, this morning I woke up to watch the U.S.-Canada hockey game.
I thought that was tonight.
So did I. Turns out it was at 5 a.m. I know.
My wife asked me, she goes, what are you doing today? I was like, well, we're going to podcast, and then we just bought a new trailer, so I want to start kind of looking at that, seeing what needs to be done. And I was like, believe it or not, I want to sit and watch the hockey game at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Sorry. I got it wrong. I didn't specify, but I clearly thought it was 5 p.m. Did you watch it?
No, I wasn't up there.
Who won?
You want me to tell you?
Yes.
USA! Dude, it was so fucking awesome.
2-1 in overtime.
Gay North Dakota.
Yeah. 2-1 in overtime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one in overtime.
Went to overtime. So, dude, this guy, Jim Hughes, let's see if they have a...
I've always thought, like, if I was ever going to start watching a sport again, it'd be hockey. It's such a great game to watch.
You talking about the dude with the teeth, broken teeth?
Yeah, so this dude, he scored the game winner, and just before the end of regular time, he got smacked in the face with a stick so hard it broke his tooth, and he was just like bleeding out of the mouth and just laying on the ice, just like, what the fuck? And then it goes to overtime, and he scores the game winner.
No way.
And they do.
That's awesome.
They do overtime 3-on-3, and it's sudden death.
Yeah.
And he scores the game winner, and just fucking, it was so awesome. And
beast.
I know. And his post game interview, he was like,
He unveiled his new brand of moonshine.
Dude, he should replace it with a gold tooth. Right? Wouldn't that be just the best move right there? He was just so stoked on America. It was awesome. He's like, I just love America. This is all about America. Our team loves America. And like, just,
that's awesome.
Yeah, just like pure, like unbridled patriotism, you know? And in that setting, you can just kind of put aside any like doubts you have about how great America is. You're like, no, fuck that. We are the greatest country that's ever been created.
Especially against Canada.
I know. They were talking before the game about how much they hated each other. They just hate Canada. Anyways, I was up early. Luckily, got to catch the game because I just happened to stumble across it. And my dog was out front.
Mm-hmm.
And
so wait, you saw the ending in real time?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I watched the last 2 periods. Well, the second, third period, and overtime. Just by dumb luck.
Yeah.
Anyways, I had the dog in the front yard. Can't let him in the back anymore because he's on training, discipline. And if he goes in the backyard, he gets into shit he's not supposed to. So I can keep an eye on him in the front yard. He's out there, and it's like, it's not quite light yet, but not quite dark. And he starts barking. And I'm like, fuck, he's barking at some cat. I go out there. Biggest fucking skunk I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Like the size of a raccoon.
Yeah.
Fucking enormous. And I'm just like and everyone's still asleep in the house and outside, but I'm just screaming, Jack, no! Come, please come! Exactly. So he fucking chases the skunk under the gate on our side yard. Skunk goes under the gate. Jack blasts through the gate because it's not latched. And then the skunk is kind of, like doing like he's got his hands up kind of, and he's backing up, and then he's turning, he's got the tail. And when the skunk squares up, it's like, it's on.
Yeah.
Like they're not just standing there. They're in a position that they're going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
And luckily he's kind of scared of it because he's still a puppy. And the skunk keeps getting closer and closer to the other gate. Finally, it goes under the other gate, and then they're like squared off with just a gate that has a bunch of gaps in it in between them. And I'm just like screaming at the dog. Finally, I get him back.
Yeah.
Pull him into the house. Doesn't get sprayed by the grace of God.
Yeah.
And then I go to the backyard, and there's the skunk in the backyard. And at this time, the chickens are out. And I think this skunk who's been
taking out the chickens.
Taking out our fucking chickens. We've lost like 4 to some animal.
Yeah.
Most likely this big, healthy skunk that's been feeding on like really good chicken. And so my pellet gun that would actually kill the skunk is in my office, but the skunk is between me and the office. Right. So I can't do that. So Junior's BB gun, little Red Ryder, is on the bar in the backyard. So I grab the BB gun, and it's got like 4 BBs in it.
Yeah.
And bang, hit him. And he's like, oh, what the fuck? Bang. He's like, God. He kind of like backs around the side of my office. I go like fill it up. A bunch more BBs. I go around the other side of the office. He's
a mag change.
Exactly. Tactical mag change. And then I just keep plinking away.
Envisioning Eric in your head.
Yeah.
Slow as fast.
Yeah. Got your finger making the funnel around the end of the barrel. And then I finally, I see it make its way over to the, and every time I hit it, it looks like it gets pissed, like it wants to fight me.
Yeah.
And so I don't really know what to do. I can't have it stay in the backyard and eat the chicken. So finally it makes it over to the neighbor's fence, and I see it digging. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let him dig a hole and get out.
Yeah.
And then right when I see his tail start to go under the fence, one last shot.
Christmas Story style.
He took off.
So what makes a skunk spray then? Because, I mean, all that didn't make him spray? Like, how does that all work?
Well, this is my theory. It was a big old skunk, so it had a lot of self-control. It didn't just let the spray go, because if you miss, then that's your ass, right? If the skunk doesn't get his target, then...
Yeah.
So this guy knew to wait until it was only necessary, get him right in the fucking face. And I don't know if you've ever smelled a dog that's been hit by a skunk.
We had a 80-pound bulldog with all the wrinkles in the face.
Yeah.
And I've gone through much of life, things can suck, but I've never tried to be that guy, like, this is just not fair. But middle of the night, my bulldog got sprayed with a skunk. It came in. I'm like trying to wash it out. Got milk on him. And I'm just going like, this is not fair.
No.
It's so miserable.
It's like a nerve agent is been unleashed. It's not even it's not a smell. The smell that you smell from a skunk that's been hit by a car or something's been sprayed in the distance, that's a skunk smell. When a skunk sprays something,
it's like in your sinuses and your eyes, and it's super nasty.
It's like it's affecting your nervous system. It's not even a bad smell. It's just like your brain is short circuiting.
And so I would imagine your whole property would be like,
oh yeah, and
torched.
you smell for weeks. People don't tell you, but then they like a year later, like, yeah, you guys.
When our dog got sprayed, it took I couldn't get that smell of it. It was like 5 baths later or something like that. And then it's like we're tearing apart the furniture, washing the couch. Like, it just never goes away.
Yeah.
That smell is like taking a liver punch while you're boxing.
Yes.
It's like, it's not pain. It's like your body just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, just like an off switch.
It just shuts down.
Totally. Yeah, so that was my morning.
Good times.
Yeah. It was fun.
Got our sweet new trailer. It's
badass.
Yeah. I got to replace the subfloor, though.
No.
Yeah, I looked under there, which I should have before we bought it, but all good. It's on me.
You got a good deal on it.
Yeah.
You have to replace the subfloor
It's
cost.
fancy. We were talking, so we were pouring concrete yesterday, and we ended up, me and all the other guys were talking about camping the whole time and different trailers and all this stuff. I was like, yeah, my wife wanted a new trailer, a bigger one. We outgrew our other one. I was like, our other one was so small, we just were never in it. It's like we went in there to sleep, and that was pretty much it.
Right.
We wanted one that we could, because we like to camp like when the weather's nasty. We don't wait just for summertime. So we go out to the coast, go crabbing and stuff like that. It would be nice to have one. So this one has all the amenities. Like it's got AC, which we don't need here in Northern California on the coast. Heater, which we do need, which is very nice. And it's got like a TV mounted to the wall.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, I went and laid down in there when we got it yesterday. I was like, at what point are we camping? Like not camping.
Who gives a shit? No, that's not what you think about. You think about like, I'm going to go enjoy myself this weekend.
Yeah.
And if the U.S. is playing Canada in a hockey game, I'm going to fucking watch it at the beach. Like that's just a fun weekend. There's no purity tests here. Right?
No, it's nice. And we deserve it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Give yourself one of these, Manny.
How hard is it going to replace the subfloor?
Hard.
Yeah, not easy. It'd be easier to replace the subfloor in my house. I know exactly what to do. We rebuilt our last trailer, and I got like, well, I can build a house. I certainly can remodel a trailer. And you tear into it, you're like, what? How does this thing? There's no. Why? Explain to me the physics of like how you can tow this in the freeway.
Seriously, like, have you ever seen what they're made of? They're made of wood. Very, very thin wood.
The floor? Like you're walking on all the time? The whole thing, everything?
You think it's like a steel frame? No, it's wood, like 1x2s.
Wow.
It's like pine. It's insane.
Our old one didn't even have studs. It was 3/4 inch birch, all just
Dude, that's
a plywood box screwed together.
That's a high quality trailer right there.
Yes.
Yeah, that could stop like a Pelican.
If you ran out of ammo.
Correct. If you can get to your Pelican.
So I had an interesting conversation, and like I'd like to know where you guys land on this. Is we've been talking about the Epstein files,
Yes.
and I am having the best time ever. Just casually calling everyone I know that made fun of me 7 years ago for talking about this. And one of those people is my brother, who I love dearly. And I talk to him a couple times a week. When I'm driving to work, we'll just touch base and bullshit. I go, how about these Epstein files? Pretty wild, huh? He goes, dude, it's insane. He's like, all that stuff came out.
All that stuff you were saying back in 2017 totally came out to be true, and I just
I
owe you a big fat apology. I'm so sorry. You were right. I was wrong.
He did
I can admit that.
He did say he's a real man. He can admit, when he was wrong. He goes, yeah, we've been talking about it at work. I was like, dude, you know who else is talking about it? And he goes, who? Like, me, 7 years ago. And you made fun of me. He goes, I'll give you that one. I was like, thank you. And so, anyway, my brother's a super sharp dude, and I love talking to him about stuff. So we were talking about, I was like, he goes, it's just crazy how much is in there. I was like, yeah, it's pretty grotesque. I was like, but you have to kind of get past that stuff. There's like, we talked about this a couple episodes ago. There's larger things going on here, and this is just basically our window for which to kind of view some very, very like disturbing things about power and wealth and hierarchy and the global order, which I think is the most interesting thing about the Epstein files.
For sure.
And my brother brought up like kind of an interesting point, because he's like, do you think any good will come out of this? I was like, well, no one's going to be punished for anything. Like, these are the most powerful people in the world.
What about Prince Charles or Prince Andrew?
It's a complete show. It's theater.
Right?
Yeah. Like, nothing's going to happen. And I was like, but the one good thing I think is that I think more and more people every day are realizing that politics is the theater for the slave class. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
so it's all the Democrats, all these Republicans, it's right and left, it's everyone. This involves everybody, and they're all playing the same game, which we've been. What's probably one of the reasons why we started this podcast. I'm like, just this whole thing, this facade of I'm going to vote harder. My team's going to win the midterms. And you're like, It doesn't matter.
Correct.
It's like we're going to keep printing money. We're going to keep starting wars. We're going to increase the surveillance state, and they're all going to keep fucking kids.
Yep.
It's like
The
that's
most,
where we're at.
Yes, the most transparent administration of all time, the most 2A friendly administration of all time is not going to do jack shit.
We're going
for
to
your
drain the
rights.
swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that is just a professional wrestling heel that is charted out in front of you every 4 years due to our selection process that you are supposed to be totally proud that your team won or just infuriated every day that this is the worst president of all time.
Does anything look dumber right now that Trump said during his campaign than drain the swamp? Like, the swamp is totally drainable right now.
Yeah.
There is a giant stock tank that is the swamp, and on the bottom there's a valve, and it says the Epstein files. All you gotta do is turn that fucking valve, and the swamp gets drained. Go drain the fucking swamp. Like, this is the golden opportunity. You could drain the entire swamp in 1 year, probably, by just prosecuting everybody that's in the Epstein files.
You don't even have to.
Not gonna happen.
They're not going to prosecute him, but I mean, bare minimum is just like, here's the list of all these people and everything they did.
Right. Even if they didn't want to prosecute him.
Like, have at it, America. Have at it.
Totally.
I was like, both your teams suck. They're all fucking degenerates and they're all criminals. Like, you need to start thinking about things that there isn't two parties.
Yeah.
We have one giant corrupt uniparty, and that's what's controlling everything.
I think you're right that that was your answer to your brother when he said, "Is anything positive come out of it?" That people are realizing that the two-party system is an illusion, that it's a uniparty.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Totally. Yeah.
And so, but he brought up kind of an interesting thing, and I don't think there's a definitive answer to this. He goes, "Isn't it crazy that these are like the most powerful people in the entire world, all over the world, right? The elites,
yes,
like names that people were never talking about, like people are talking about now.
Names people didn't even know, and then you learn who they are,
Yeah,
and what they control, what they do, and you're like, oh, that's a powerful person.
Yeah, like we've been following people like Ehud Barak and Howard Lutnick, Les Wexner. We've been talking about this for years, but that's just kind of because it's our thing. Like we like to follow this stuff, but now like people like my brother who have no interest in this stuff, like now he's talking about these people. And I was like, yes, like this is the stuff that I was talking about. And you made fun of me. Sweeping under the rug. But my brother brought up an interesting point. He goes, all these people are in there, like they have all the money in the world, all the power in the world, right? And he goes, and a lot of these people, turns out, to be sexual degenerates and pedophiles. He goes, were these people like that before they got all this power and wealth? Or did all that power and wealth make them that way?
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing to think about because we have examples of both, right? We have the stories about like how people are placed in positions of power because like J. Edgar Hoover, chosen to lead the FBI. Now they know he was a homosexual. This is back in the 50s, like when that was not really a thing. And so they take him.
That was not the thing that actually got you popularity.
Yes.
Like it is today.
Yes, exactly. And so they take that guy, put him in power, and they're like, okay, like you're the kind of face of this organization, but you're going to play ball with what we say. So this would be the notion of the deep state. Like we already have kind of a agenda here, and you're just going to execute it. And if not, we have this thing. Now the other side of it is, and I think it's both, is Ian Carroll has talked about this a lot. It's like people, they amass so much wealth and power. Remember our old client? He had a friend that was a billionaire. Yeah. And he goes, I asked my friend, I'm like, what's it like to be a billionaire? And he goes like, it's like everything's free.
Yeah. It's like money, everything in the world is free.
Money doesn't matter. Now imagine a guy with $80 billion. Mm-hmm. You can have anything. Like you can't spend that much money in a lifetime. Right. You can have whatever you want. You can have you can be a frumpy, boring, ugly 70-year-old and get a 23-year-old model as a girlfriend. Yeah. Like, there are people that will take that deal.
Well, it's also like the people who think they're good because they don't do bad things. Mm-hmm. They're not right because they don't have the ability to do bad things. Mm-hmm. The normal person is going to get caught for doing murder, let's say. Mm-hmm. And so that keeps them from doing it.
Right.
They can't even entertain the thought of that because they know there's just no way that you would get away with that. You're not really being good by not committing murder.
Because they might have a Ring doorbell puppy finder camera.
But if you have $80 billion, like you don't have to worry about getting caught.
You can pull it off.
You can pull off murder.
Yeah.
So for that person to be good, yes. Okay. If they're not committing murder, that's good because they actually have the ability to get away with murder.
Yeah.
And so when you dump, it's like that time I was talking about the lady who drives too slow on the freeway. And then and it's a 2-lane road, so you can't pass. And then the passing lane.
You're talking about the lady in front of me yesterday when I was trying to get to that pouring concrete job.
Yes, exactly. It gets to the passing lane, and she speeds up all of a sudden.
Yes.
So you can't get in front for the next slow part of the road.
Yeah.
Right? You give that person $1 billion, and they will
block out the sun.
They're going to block out the sun. They're doing that exact same shit, just they have the ability to be evil with it. So I think there's something to that the money doesn't necessarily make people evil, but it gives them the ability to do evil when they were just some poor sucker. They had no ability to do that.
It also made me think that the thing that my brother and I were talking about is that we have this biological impulse to always strive for something, to always want something. Now you have the means where you can have anything that you want, right? This gets really dark. Now, the things that the last things left that you can't have, kids, an unwilling partner, human meat, like there's this taboo list of like,
right.
And so we were thinking about, I was like, do you think it's just that these people already have everything in the world? They can afford anything in the world. They can buy whatever they want. They can control anything they want. And they're like, there's just these last few things that I don't have access to. So that's what I want right now, which really gets fucking dark.
I think that exists in all of us.
Yeah.
I think there's a part of us that wants to do bad things sometimes just to like I used to love to drink and drive. Mm-hmm. I did. I'll be honest. I liked being in the truck with a beer. Mm-hmm. There's just something about it that it felt kind of like, I was breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Kids love breaking rules. I don't know. So
that's why we never wear seatbelts, just because I just don't.
It's innocent when it's
to my own detriment. I'm going to do this thing like just because.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to.
Right.
I mean, that's probably the reason why we all need Jesus in our lives. For that reason. All that stuff. There's nothing else that really gives us purpose.
Yeah, every once in a while you got to take your hands off the wheel. Someone grabs it. I'm still here.
That is exactly right. Because those billionaires are looking for something. They're trying to fill a hole. Mm-hmm. We all are. Like by, instead of choosing God or choosing something greater than yourself, you're looking for it in all these really awful ways, like drugs and alcohol, or just cheating, stealing, doing bad things. That is an attempt to plug a hole, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So we did. We talked about this earlier today, but the episode that we did on that article that the CEO of the AI company wrote, where he said that it might be too late.
Yeah,
we've already passed.
Yeah, and the point we were making, he goes, "I'm not telling you what's coming. I'm telling you what's already happened."
Yeah. So I had talked about another article before that was. About the AI, what was it? It was like Instagram it was like Twitter for AI. It was a social media for AI.
Yeah.
Does that have a name?
Moltech or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
It was Moltbook.
Moltbook. Yeah, there it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a social media platform just for AI users. Or AI, or just for AI.
Yeah. And so Chris sent that to me, and I was like, nah, I'm not buying it. Mm-hmm. We would know if AI was becoming sentient. It would just be such a big deal, like it would, or not even sentient, but just past the point of no return, where it's getting so smart it can write its own code and improve itself exponentially and just get faster and faster and faster. This point of just past top dead center on the cycle. And so then I thought, well, shit. Maybe we've gotten there, and we just don't see it yet. and that was kind of the point that article was making. We don't see it, but the new article but it's happened, and we're past that point. And what you were saying earlier made me think, like, in terms of the corruption in our society, might also be, or the surveillance and the lack of individual rights, just the degradation of the American ideals. It's so gone that we might also be past the point of no return in that regard as well.
Yeah.
And we don't see it because we kind of don't want to see it.
Yeah, I think that's why people were so resistant to. People would actually get a little pissy with me. We're talking about the Epstein files 5 years ago. And it's like, I don't think they want to try to wrap their head around that this whole thing is not real.
Right.
This whole two-party illusion, like, it's not a thing. It's like you are being gamed. You were gamed your entire life. It's pretty hard to take that seriously in your brain as someone who might semi-love institutions.
And you want to believe, like, your team. You want to believe J.D. Vance when he says, like, well, we got to turn this ship around. You know, we need to, it's a big ship. It's hard to you can't just turn it like a 180 all of a sudden. It takes a long time to turn it.
Well, fuck it. Let's get on those life rafts and just go the other way then.
We should be.
Take this ship wherever you want.
Exactly. No, that's the right response to have. But what they're not trying to turn the ship around. That's obvious now, right? The Huckabee interview with Tucker Carlson, there was a point in it where he goes, you know, and Donald Trump is reducing the deficit. I was like, what? No, he isn't.
Hang on.
That is 100% false.
No, I don't think he is.
No, he's increasing it. We are told that he's doing that, and because to turn this ship around, you got to spend a lot of money to get the ship going in the other direction.
Right.
And we all want to believe that. I would love for that to be true, that he's actually going to make good on his promises after he disappoints us on every single one, that eventually next year he's going to start making good on those promises and turn that ship around. But what's more likely?
But as we said, Trump derangement syndrome is a two-way street. It goes both ways.
And so that's kind of like this AI thing. Like, we don't really want to believe that we're at the point of Cyberdyne. Mm-hmm. By the way, I watched a video recently about Terminator. It was like 15 fun facts about Terminator movie.
It'll pop up to your phone right after the last podcast?
No. Junior. Yeah. How weird. Do you think our phones are listening to us? Do you think so?
100%.
That's another thing we don't want to believe. It's surprising every time your phone pops up exactly the thing you were talking about, because you just don't want to believe it. But at the end of Terminator, there's
more gnome porn.
How random.
What are the chances?
At the end of Terminator, there's supposed to be a scene where these two executives are picking up broken pieces of the Terminator. Mm-hmm. And
this is the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about how they could use those pieces, and then it shows where they are, and they're at Cyberdyne Technologies, right? So that scene wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
The reason, but it should have been. It was a really good, clever kind of way to tell you that basically the full Terminator trilogy had been thought out by James Cameron in the beginning. But the reason that they cut it was because the producers of the movie insisted on two of the investors being allowed to be the actors that are the two guys talking in that scene. Mm-hmm. And it was so bad that they had to cut it.
Oh, just the acting.
The acting.
Oh, wow.
It was so bad, which you wouldn't think that, like, it was like a minute-long dialogue.
Yeah.
Talking about little parts.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was like, yeah, that's fucking awful.
You can't pull it off. And we just can't pull it off. Like,
you can't figure out how to act like that well, but I guess, acting, I don't know. I'm not an actor. Apparently it's hard.
That movie wasn't supposed to be as big as it got. It was considered a cult classic. The first one.
You mean before it was even released?
Yeah, like
their expectations.
Yeah, the expectations it wasn't be this huge thing, and became one of the biggest movies of all. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever.
You know, they wanted to have the liquid metal Terminator in the first one.
No,
but they didn't have. It was written in.
Yeah,
there were supposed to be two Terminators sent back.
They just didn't have the technology to pull it off.
Right. Didn't have the AI.
Even the one
Isn't that
where
ironic? They didn't have the technology, and the technology is the thing that's trying to kill us. I don't know.
And when you talk about sequels too, man, the sequel for that movie was really good. I mean,
the sequel was great, man.
Totally.
But the first one, I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as a kid. We had HBO when I was a little kid and weren't supposed to be watching rated R movies. My brother and I watched it. My stepdad came down. He goes, "You guys seen this before?" I was like, "No." You know, this term, he's just about to shoot up the place, and he let us watch it. And he goes, just watch it." And my brother and I we recorded it on our beta machine. It's like, this is so. And we watched the last half of that movie over and over and over again until it came on. We could record the whole thing.
There was, that was the move, right? Because you had the VHS and Betamax.
And beta.
Like in the same box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my thinking outside the box stepdad was always figuring out ways of like how we could game shit.
Did you watch that link that Jake sent us? Mm-mm. On Instagram?
No. Which one?
It was about. I didn't watch the whole thing, but because I stopped. I'll see if I can play it. I stopped when this guy makes a claim about Benjamin Netanyahu. Mm-hmm. I want you to
The guy from Poland? That Benjamin Netanyahu?
Yes, the Polish atheist.
His name is not Benjamin Netanyahu. That guy?
Yes.
Interesting.
Let's see. How do you find your saved shit on here? When I play this, I want you to do the fact check
Okay.
of it. I'll tell you when. Okay, just put that there, and you go here and you click on that. And you can't hear it.
Oh, I saw this.
People that are just finding my content for the very first time, because if you haven't gone down the rabbit holes that we've gone down over the last couple of weeks and some of these deep dives, some of this is going to be very hard and it's going to upset you because it's so truthful and it's so obvious and it's been right in front of our face. But we've been programmed with decades and decades, all the way back to the 1950s or earlier. There is a small group of individuals that are hell-bent on destroying America. And in this video, I'm going to lay out step by step their playbook, and it's going to paint a big picture. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why they had to kill Charlie Kirk. So if you'll allow me 10 to 15 minutes of your time, buckle up. We're going to kick things off with a quote from Netanyahu. This is word for word, verbatim, from the Jerusalem Post by Benjamin Netanyahu in 1990. If we get caught, they will just replace us with a person from the same cloth. So it doesn't matter what you do. America is a golden calf, and we will suck it dry, chop it up, and sell it off piece by piece until there is nothing left but the world's biggest welfare state that we create and control. Why? Because it's God's will. And America is big enough to take the hit, so we can do it again and again and again. This is what we do to the countries that we hate. We destroy them very slowly, but we make them suffer for refusing to be our slaves.
Okay, so I heard that. You're going to look up the fact check on that. And I was like, wow, that's quite a quote. Like, if he really said that, then I think we all should have some questions, especially for, I don't know, Mike Huckabee.
Oh, let's check the old trusted Snopes.com.
Okay, this is the one. Okay. Read what it says.
Unfounded.
Okay.
Okay, but let's keep in mind
what I figured.
Snopes is run by a very, very shady guy who ditched his wife.
And his girlfriend.
Yeah, ditched his wife and hooked up with a stripper who now helps run the fact checks.
Any connection to Israel?
Netanyahu was recorded in 1990 saying, "America's a golden calf and we will suck it dry, chop it up, and sell it off piece by piece." Okay, unfounded. A rumor resurfaced online claiming that Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was once secretly recorded in Jerusalem bar saying, America is blah, blah, blah. And the quote, this quote was not new, having resurfaced since at least 2017. So apparently it's hearsay uttered by in 1990, although he did not assume prime ministership until 1996. This is the full quote, and it gives the quote. So,
Right.
So unfounded.
All the fact check basically is that it's unfounded.
Yeah.
There's no explanation. to that. It says, this full quote is attributed to Netanyahu and has appeared in other social media posts. This text accompanies the quote in memes such as the one above, and then it goes on to talk about the meme. No evidence at all that it is unfounded. Okay? So, it doesn't prove that he actually said it, but I had to stop right there because I was like, that is, for one, that's a horrible thing for someone to say about the United States of America. Is it true? Who knows? If it's not true, have his actions made it seem like he like it's not true? Has he done anything different than what is said in that quote?
No.
That he wants to suck America dry? Like, that seems legitimate.
Yeah. Let's go back to 1990, and then if you look at the Clean Break document, and then the Project for a New American Century, Rebuilding America's Defenses, which basically maps out the logistics of basically what he's saying in that quote, all those things came true. So we always have to ask ourselves, like, let's say, we weren't heading towards a civil war. Would things look any different?
Exactly.
Same kind of thing.
We want to chop it up, sell it off piece by piece until there is nothing left but the world's biggest welfare state that we will create and control. Are we the world's biggest welfare state? Obviously. Are they controlling it? I mean, to some degree, at least. Okay, so, sorry, a bit of a sidetrack there, but back to...
I'd say the end of all humanity is not a sidetrack, but...
Right. So, if you look at the Epstein files, like the...
Do you think it's petty to cheer this stuff on just so I can bring up the Deagle statistics? And say, see, I was right.
I told you! From your gulag cell down the hall. I told you so!
Told you guys!
You're just breaking rocks out in some yard. You're like, I told you.
I was right about that.
Would you shut up? Guys, this is bad enough.
Does it really matter? No, but I'm just saying I was right.
So, if we're at this point of the reason I brought that up will come to me, and we'll talk about it again later. Yep. But if we're at this point of no return with our society, our political elites that have completely ruined America, it would look like we can't actually turn the ship around. We can't actually fix the problem. We can't fire every single person who is a criminal in our political systems, not just the federal, but the state and the local. I mean, our county is one of the most corrupt counties in America, apparently. The Epstein files would be this key that when you turn it, the whole thing just crumbles.
Yeah.
Right? The entire system just has to fall down and can't be replaced because it's impossible to actually put people into those vacancies that are good people that will not go down the same path of abusing Americans, of stealing our money and using it for their own gain and to subjugate the people, right? That's just like an impossible thing.
Which kind of gets back to my brother's question. It's like you'd want someone, because they talk about like, wouldn't it be crazy to have this much power and wealth? And I'm like, no. Like, who would want? You'd have to be deranged to even want the job.
Right.
Which is why we made the joke on a previous episode. They're like, okay, turns out we had to clear house. Like, everyone had to go. We live in a righteous and moral society, and we did the right thing. They all had to go. Now we need someone to steer the ship.
Right.
Who doesn't like fucking kids? No one.
Okay.
No one. Really?
Or you'd have to be like, is there anyone here that doesn't want all the power of the federal government, who doesn't want to be wealthy, who believes in God? Like, where is this? Who's the last person that wants to do this job? And you're like, you? Okay. Yeah, that guy. I think that's an Adam Carolla joke, right?
He goes, he's talking about like, there's an easy way to do this. Like, all right, you're running like a Boy Scout troop. And you're like, I need someone to take the kids up to the observatory for the weekend and everything. And any volunteers? Like, okay, definitely not you. He's like, there's a guy in the back like hiding his head. He goes, Tim, I need you to do. He's like, come on, man, the Giants are in the playoffs this weekend. Like, you're only making my case stronger. You're watching the kids.
Exactly. So that's the guy we need. We need Tim. I don't think we need a lot of Tims. I don't know if we're going to find him. But if you look at the reaction of these people who are caught red-handed in covering up for the pedophiles, like, what has their behavior been like? Are they even acknowledging that what we see with our own eyes right in front of our faces is true? No, they're just, they're saying, oh, there are no more files. But you said there were. Well, first you said there weren't any files, and you said there were files, and there weren't, and then there was a hoax, and then now that we have the files, now we gave you all the files. But I thought you said there were 3 million more. No, we gave you the list with all the names on it. You're like, well, Elvis Presley's name is on that list. Like, what is this? This is...
I knew it.
It is... What that list was that they sent out with, it had the Pope, it had like a bunch of names on it. You know what I'm talking about? There was this one, Jake, you've heard of this? There was this one document that they released, and Alex Jones was talking about it, who, by the way, like, is been completely corrupted. That guy is, they have something on him, or they're paying his bills for him or something. Like, he is completely lost.
He made a deal with, he's absolutely compromised at this point. Now he was, because of his Sandy Hook controversy, was going to lose everything.
Yeah.
Over $1 billion.
Yeah.
And which is still being litigated in the courts. I'm like, okay, so they got something on this guy, which made me think, like, to me, it's totally obvious, right?
Yeah.
Because he was talking about Epstein like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, before anyone knew anything.
Right.
He was talking about Epstein Island, like all this crazy stuff. Now he's playing ball with the establishment all of a sudden, but they got something on him. It's like, look, there's a chance that we're not going to ruin your entire life if you kind of play ball, which that's what it seems like is going on to me.
So the DOJ said that they were going to release the rest of the files. They released a document that had all these names on it. And they said, okay, that's it. We released all the files. And Alex Jones and all these other conservative influencers, they all tweeted the exact same tweet. You know, when they do that, like, they don't even hide the fact that they were given talking points. Yeah. Like, word for word, the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, boom, bombshell. They dropped all the files. Trump totally exonerated or vindicated or something.
Yeah, there was that classic moment when Dave Smith was going on some program to have, you know, a debate with a bunch of other people. And they were talking to him before the show, and he was asking this, I don't know, it's like a senator or something, like, why do you guys all come out and say the same thing? You know what I mean? Like, remember after the debates, like, it was calling Republicans weird. They're just weird. Like, every single mainstream media outlet was saying the exact same thing. I mean, there's all those montages of, like, even reading a script, you know, verbatim all together, you know, and people sync them up. I'm like, you know, your local news affiliate and CNN and Fox and MSNBC, you know, talking about the dangers of disinformation, whatever. But Dave Smith was pressing this person and said, like, I just find it weird, no pun intended, that you guys all come out and say the same thing. And this person just straight up told him, he goes, well, every morning we just get what we're supposed to talk to from the DNC.
Right.
And he was like, look, he goes, I don't think you were supposed to tell me that.
Right. They literally get these talking points. Yeah. Well, Alex Jones is getting talking points too now, apparently, because he basically sent out the same tweet as everybody else. But all they released was this one document that had all the names that were ever mentioned in the Epstein files. So, like, Janis Joplin was on the list. Yeah. What they're doing with that is they're basically laughing in your face.
Yes.
Okay, they know that
they're flooding the zone, we call it.
They're never going to give us back, you know, the information that we want. And when they go in front of Congress, I think it was Jamie O'Brien where I read him.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought him up. Okay, go ahead.
He, in one of his recent Substack posts, was talking about how Pam Bondi, when she was testifying in front of Congress, could barely hold back her laughter when she was making all those stupid points, like the Dow, it's up 50,000 points, the Dow. And what that is, it's performative to the rest of the people that are in on her little their little game, and saying like, fuck these people.
Yeah.
We're not giving these people a damn thing. We're protecting the pedophiles. We're ruining their lives. We might let the whole entire thing collapse, but it's going to be replaced with Palantir and AI, and we're going to have AI judges and AI cops and robots and surveillance, and that's the thing that we're moving to. You guys can fuck right off if you think you're actually going to be able to take back your system.
What Pam Bondi doing is the same thing as like an NFL wide receiver, to catching some crazy pass and being so far ahead of everyone in the last 5 yards, it turns around and runs backwards.
Yeah, high stepping. Yep.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, they're crossing the finish line right now and spiking the ball because they know that they got us by the ball. So I think we might be there, or we've gone too far.
If you think that's hyperbolic, you got to think about it like this: is what people are totally fixated on, which it's much bigger than this. But for the people that are new to this Epstein stuff, is like we're talking about the people that write and enforce our laws and take our tax money and decide where it goes and spend us into oblivion and get us into illegal wars are also fucking kids. It's like, yeah, I kind of got an issue with that. And she goes, well, what's the trade-off though? But we can just let that keep going. And would you take that in exchange for the Dow, for which doesn't affect most Americans? You don't have any money in the market. Like, it's a good trade-off, right? You're like, no.
And she knows that.
No, yeah.
She's just totally laughing in your face. Yeah. So I think we might be past that point of no return. Not to say that there's no hope. I don't mean to be blackpilled on this and give up hope. I think that there's I think it's not over till it's over. But I think in their minds, like, they have gone to the point where they've just completely given up on caring what people think. They can rig elections. They can influence people's voting habits even without rigging elections enough to know that they can just do whatever they want to do. And they keep playing that game. The Democrat, Republican, oh no, the Dems are taking over the Congress. Like, oh, everyone's shaking your boots. Like, no, the uniparty is going to keep in control forever. Yeah. Until there's some radical disruption, which I think, and hopefully I'm wrong, but I think they're going to try to replace our current system of laws and being run by people with AI, with robots. But, and part of this just totally plays into what I'm saying here. What do we get when campaign season comes around, right? We get a fucking circus. Mm-hmm. It's never serious. It hasn't been serious in years.
It's longer every cycle. It used to be 6 months before an election. Now it's 2 years long, 3 years long.
They lean so heavily into the performance of it too, the circus act of it, right? And so they roll out like the Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, like just awful, like hilariously awful candidates. Go ahead and pop this up on the screen there, Carlos.
Smelling some AOC in this mix.
Oh yeah. Now, this is just me having fun because, I mean, let's be honest, the campaigns are pretty fun.
Yes, they are.
It's just so ridiculous.
When you're outside the fishbowl, it's just entertainment.
It really is. Yeah. So this is AOC who, we should pull up the betting odds. I found a new site.
It's the relaxation of watching the Super Bowl when you're not rooting for either team. Like, who are you rooting for? Like, I don't, whatever.
100%. All right, here's AOC.
Offer. And to all of you, and Congressman, I'll start with you, would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is a...
It's like me on the podcast.
Today, Junior! This is, of course, a very long-standing policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
When I was on tour once, we at our merch table, we run a book exchange because I'd read, you're in a van or a bus for several hours a day. And then we put out on this is the message board days, like, hey, because we'd be done with the books, put them on the merch table, and the kids would come and exchange them from other books. And then I remember one time someone dropped off Tommyland, which was the autobiography by Tommy Lee, the drummer for Motley Crue. And I read that book because it's just an easy read, you know what I mean? And he had chapters. He'd write a chapter, and they would have like this kind of sub-chapter that it was his penis talking. And
I heard about that.
I remember reading the book, and then when I was done with it, I was like, I don't think I've actually read something, and it made me dumber. It's like, how do you take in information? I'm like, I just lost like 5 IQ points listening to that.
God, she's dumb. Why is this woman a potential candidate? Why do people hold her up as a candidate for president?
Here's what you have to do. This is the game you play, because she's very attractive.
That's why.
Okay.
Imagine the chief reason.
Imagine what came out of her mouth came out of a frumpy 75-year-old white guy.
Yeah.
It'd be all over the news. This would be all like, that guy is a fucking moron.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, that guy would never get picked to be who she is. Right? It's just because she's hot that she's even being considered. Yeah. This is the political game that we're all watching, the political football game. Like
she's starting to do
here it comes. It's almost
Gavin Newsom hand movement. So
yeah. Like if someone on a job site was telling you like what they wanted done and they were using hands like that, it would start a fight. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, talk to me like a human being. Like this, it's so like condescending. Yeah. It's one thing if you're pointing at like where the lights go in the kitchen, but if you're like doing this like hand chopping thing, like that's offensive, I think. I don't know. All right, I got the odds up here. U.S. presidential election money line. Wait a second. U.S. presidential election money line. This says J.D. Vance is a plus 225 and Donald Trump is a plus 500. Wow. I didn't see that coming. We got Gavin Newsom plus 350.
As soon as he puts the finishing touches in the old bullet train.
Mm-hmm. AOC is at plus 1,200. Bit of a long shot. Wow, Donald Trump has better odds of being president than AOC.
On a third term. How does that...
That's insane.
That's awesome. Part of me, I think that guy has shit the bed in just almost every way.
Trump?
Yes.
Yes.
But part of me, in the same way that like part of me wanted Kamala Harris to win, I'm like, let's just like have some fun here.
Right. Like if the wheels are going to come off.
Like if we're going to rip this Band-Aid off, like, let's do it.
Exactly. Let's have some fun with it. So you listened to that Mike Huckabee interview? I pulled one clip from it because it was just the most like shocking thing that he said. The fact that he said it out loud was amazing to me. So they're talking about does Israel have a right to exist? Mm-hmm. Which is the only country that you ever have that question asked.
Right.
To. Like no one asks if Sweden has a right to exist. It's like, it does exist, and that's pretty much the end of the conversation.
Yes.
So they're kind of debating like there's this biblical reason that Israel should be allowed to exist. And so
I think you're about to play my favorite part of this interview.
Yeah.
Let's go through this. You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's Abram, it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram, receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land. And you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include like basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant. So that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be, I mean...
I'm not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
It would be a lot of places that are now countries.
But this particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, is is a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way. Christian Zionism, I want to go back because that's where we started.
I'm not going to let you off on this because you have said it 3 times that God gave this land to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis. You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all. But I don't think that's what we're talking about here today.
That's what you just said.
It would be fine if they took it all. Wow.
It's, by the way, kudos. Same brain, dude. Because I listen and I'm like, that's the point. That's the entire point of this. Like that. That's where all this stems from. Now, first off, I enjoyed this much more than him talking to Ted Cruz, who also attempted poorly to quote the Bible and clearly never cracked a Bible in his life. Mike Huckabee, who is a theologian, does know the Bible, but that's like one of the most glaring contradictions I've ever heard. He goes, well, according to the Bible, this and this, and Tucker that says, well, the Bible also says this. So are you talking about it? And he was painted into a corner there. He was trying to piecemeal it out. I was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. That's exactly what you just said.
He was saying that, well, Israel doesn't have plans to take over the entire Middle East. Yeah. It's like, well, I mean, they're not in the same borders they were in 1947. They have expanded their borders. They are taking over chunks of Syria. They have troops in Syria. I mean, and you just said it would be okay if they did, because the Bible said it's okay for according to Mike Huckabee, it's okay for the government of Israel to go to war and destroy all those countries in order to take them over. Basically, that's what he's saying. It would be okay if they did. Right? I mean, imagine the confidence that you would have to have in your understanding of the Bible to be giving the blessing of the Israeli government to take over the entire Middle East. The number of innocent people that would die in something like that. But you are so confident that those words in Genesis mean exactly that you're willing to just say that out loud. I mean, that should make you like take pause, right? If you really believe in heaven and hell, like that seems to me like you better really, really, really be sure that God meant it was okay to just slaughter people in order for the government of Israel to take over that land. That was shocking.
Let's be honest, you're talking about political gain. This is not about the Bible. You're using the Bible as justification to do these things, but this is about the tail, wagging the dog. Which is what Israel is.
Right. And I guess that's why I wanted to bring up that link that Jake sent us. Like, if Benjamin Netanyahu is hell-bent on chopping America up and selling off the pieces and turning us into the biggest welfare state in the world that he can suckle on, like, that, I don't think that's what the Bible meant either, right? That is terrifying. And it is just, you can't separate, in my mind, the Epstein files and the corruption of our government from our relationship with Israel. The two are very closely linked. Not just because Jeffrey Epstein was obviously connected to Mossad, but everyone in Congress is connected to Israel and is willing, in many cases, to say that Israel is the greatest country in the world and America is second place. Or they wake up every morning thinking, how can they help
better serve Israel?
Yeah,
that's a direct quote from Ted Cruz.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could go down the list. They all have said things like that. No, not all of them, but the vast majority. Donald Trump. Hit that button that says Donald Trump is the... we won't be able to hear it. Never mind. Israel has never known a better friend than Donald J. Trump. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? And as we try to expose all this stuff, they just laugh in our faces and tell us how great the Dow is doing.
High stepping.
Exactly.
High stepping the whole way.
And just shoving that football in your face.
There's something to be said that Epstein files were gearing up for war in Iran. I was talking to, I think it might have been my brother. I was just like, it's things that just the media is like, we're getting ready to have war with Iran. I think that's kind of a story. Or the most powerful people in the world are completely sexual degenerates and criminals. I was like, those are to me, the biggest stories in the world right now. Instead, we get Nancy Guthrie, a missing 83-year-old woman. I was like, you can get your average QAnon dork talking about how the Jews run the media in the world or whatever. I'm like, okay, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds like something maybe Alex Jones would have blurted out, not today, but a couple years ago.
Right? A couple weeks ago.
I was like, but eventually you make these categories of like what seem to be significant events going on, that affect the entire world, and put them on a list, and that are not being talked about in the media, and out of that list, which ones would make Israel look bad? I'm like, it's almost the entire list.
Yeah, it's
There's a certain math you got to kind of do.
It's a Venn diagram that's a circle.
It's a circle. Yeah, they're like completely overlap. By the way, I'm still digging into it. We're going to do this on another episode, but I get the feeling, what was Jamie O'Brien's perspective on why COVID happened?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, because the COVID was a way to print money to stop this financial crisis that was looming. Yeah. Right, so they used COVID as a disguise to print more money than had ever been printed in that period of time before.
Which they did.
Yes. And they did that. So every time that they've done these tricks to us, they've had a crisis to do it.
Yes.
Right? They need the crisis. They're probably not going to do another COVID. People aren't going to stand for it.
No.
What's the next, what was the crisis? 9/11 was a crisis. We got the Patriot Act. Like these, world wars were crises. We're off the gold standard. Like all of these crises that they use to fuck us, right? What's the next crisis? Well, we're there right now, right? It's got to be, it could be, I'm not going to say it's got to be, but this Epstein thing, a total collapse, would be the perfect crisis for them to do their next step, maybe the last step of this house of cards economy that we're on right now, to just fully pull the rug out from under us, steal one last chunk of money, and then imprison us in our digital handcuffs.
Like we were saying, it's like the infrastructure is not quite in place yet. It's like, this gets into the AI discussion. Like once we're up and running with this, it goes back to the surveillance stuff that we were talking about earlier. It's like the inmates are almost done building their own prison. Like we're so close, but it's not quite ready just yet. Now, when Jamie O'Brien brought that up, so this was 2 years ago?
Probably.
Something like that. He brought that up. I was like, man, that's interesting to think about. And I started like looking into it more and more. Now the Epstein files have come out. We're finding that the correspondence between Epstein, Bill Gates, the WHO, JP Morgan Chase, the big, other big banks, is they had been Event 201, Crimson Contagion, Dark Winter, all the tabletop exercises. Epstein was the money guy for all of these things, organizing like the pandemic response. So what I do like lately, because you going into the Epstein files, even though we're pretty familiar with this stuff, is you are drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
And so I'll pick like kind of one thing. I'm like, that looks interesting, and you just start like mapping out this stuff. And I looked up like, if you just look up the Bill Gates, not him banging a Russian prostitute and giving his wife an STD, but the pandemic preparedness stuff that was going on. This goes back over 10 years before COVID. Like this was going back to like late 90s even. They were talking about this stuff. And then once the Epstein was relaying information between Bill Gates and JP Morgan Chase and moving money around, saying like, hey, we got to move this money here. This will be for the vaccine. This will be for the pandemic preparedness stuff. And they had been planning a shutdown like since the late 90s, essentially. And it broke it down into 3 stages. We're going to do this on another episode. There's so much information, dude. It's like pretty hard to ingest. We're going to have to like take it in parts or whatever. But then once you got the banks involved, And, you know, at the same time, they're talking about this financial crisis. Like, they all know that it's a house of cards. It's exactly the stuff that Jamie O'Brien was talking about. And as you read this, you talk about, as I was saying to my brother, all the Epstein stuff is like everything. It ties back to Iran-Contra, goes back to the invasion of Iraq, goes back to us bombing Yemen and Syria, like all this stuff, you know. You start pulling in the Clean Break document and the Project for a New American Century, and like Jeffrey Epstein was always like in the middle of this stuff. He was the mid-level fixer of like moving money around, compromising people so they'd make specific decisions. But just as it pertains to what Jamie O'Brien was saying, I'm like, as I'm reading these documents and they're talking about this, you know, just in case we have like a crazy pandemic, we have to shut the world down and print a bunch of money and prop up this house of cards. I was like, as I read through it, I'm just focused on the COVID stuff. Like, it hit me. I'm like, I think Jamie O'Brien was right about everything. Like, holy shit. And we'll get into it more, but like, there's just there's the advertisement for it.
And this old